The world in which the people of St. Anne's Avenue root from is that of disaster, danger, and drugs. The toll this environment takes on the human body, both physically and mentally, greatly impacts the livelihood and psyche of the residents of the neighborhood, in particular the children. I'm a firm believer in tabula rasa. Each human is born neither inherently good or bad. Experience rather shapes their conscience. The children of Mott Haven therefore are born into the world with a clean slate. Death, drugs, crime, and violence quickly become consistent elements of their lives, the trauma of it all working into their system and becoming a part of their mindset. They sooner learn about eating white powder and burning bodies, the effect of these experiences forcing the children of Mott Haven to become increasingly mature at young ages. The way in which I chose to physically portray this motif of forced maturity, along with other influential concepts discussed in Kozol's Amazing Grace, was through a collage, highlighting the aspects of the recount that impacted me the most. Firstly, I expressed the inevitably early maturity of the children of Mott Haven as the main focus of the piece. A boy standing in the upper left-hand corner. This boy is adorned with a cracked face and blood-red eyes meant to represent the physical and mental trials that the children of Mott Haven endure, and visually represent how after each trauma or crack, they are forced to piece themselves back together. While they might physically look like one piece, they will forever have the scars from the cracks or the memories from the trauma. At the top of my collage, I placed a Thoreau quote that reads, "It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see," to insinuate that it's easy to look at something and allow biases and preconceived notions to put up social blinders, disguising the truth, as in the case of Mott Haven, in the eyes of the wealthy New Yorkers. It rather takes maturity and courage to view a situation or a person and be able to actually understand or empathize with their situation. Therefore, I chose to have this broken child peer through a telescope titled Tunnel Vision versus Fisheye, representing the type of vision people choose to view situations with. I wrote the two visions in different directions, tunnel vision written horizontally and fisheye vision written vertically, to highlight the fact that they are polar opposites but exist within similarity. In this context, I meant to highlight the fact that objects, in this case people and places, cannot be properly seen or understood unless closely inspected. This child can see the fisheye view of the entire state of New York, all the way from 5th Avenue, past 96th Street, into St. Anne's Avenue. Contrastingly, if rather choosing to use tunnel vision, the child would only be able to focus on one thing, rather than the whole picture. This child is not said to be using one specific type of vision, rather he has the choice to look at a city with either. The perspective with which situations are viewed has the potential to completely alter someone's standpoint. With this book, Kozol continues to prove this point. From afar, the neighborhood of Mott Haven is nothing but painted flowers on the back of buildings. Upon closer inspection, it is a plethora of trash, ungodly creatures similar to ROUSs of The Princess Bride and incinerators. Similarly, a suburb of New York from afar is full of potential color and magic. Upon closer inspection, however, it is full of corruption, competition, and ignorance. There is no such thing as a perfect utopia when looked at under scrutiny. After passing the threshold of 96th Street, I placed a combination of ironies and stereotypes in the gray, dirty-looking landscape to represent Mott Haven. In the bottom right corner, I placed a drug deal with a speech bubble reading, "Don't do drugs," next to a prostitute saying, "Don't be a fool, cover your tool," with the words AIDS strewn in red capital letters across her dress. These two photos are meant to be ironic, representing the contradiction that exists within the lives of children of Mott Haven. They grow up in environments where they are taught the dangers of drugs and unsafe sex, but most likely from people who suffer from drug addiction, AIDS, or both. How are these children supposed to understand the gravity of addiction if the superiors they have as their role models can only display the negative connotations of these situations by showing the children firsthand how addiction has the potential to completely inhibit one's livelihood? Also placed under the border of 96th Street, I placed a tiger to represent how the people of New York view those from Mott Haven, as animals. Similar to Miller's contemplation of domination and subordination, the people of Mott Haven are viewed as a subordinate group by the wealthier upper class who view themselves as dominant. The permanent inequality Miller speaks of is continual, based on the ascription that the corruption of corporate New York instigates. Miller explains that due to social ostracism, the subordinate group has to focus on basic survival. Kozol portrays that for the people of Mott Haven, this same struggle for survival is both a literal and figurative battle. Basic survival exists as a continuum of never-ending struggles. Each day seems to bring boundless challenges, each hindering the people from Mott Haven from living like human beings, and rather forcing them to live like the animals the dominant group sees them as. If this tiger, however, is closely inspected, it can be seen that it has a large brain covering its face. This is meant to coincide with Miller's idea that the dominant group is often deprived of the knowledge of the subordinate group. Because the dominant group of New York views Mott Haven's residents as animal-like and does not associate with them, they do not understand the wisdom and incalculable perspective that exists within Mott Haven. The final section of the collage under 96th Avenue is a teacher at a chalkboard reading "Oh, the Places You Won't Go," playing on Dr. Seuss's uplifting children's book, "Oh, the Places You'll Go," to insinuate the effects of the poverty cycle and the ideology of class mobility in the United States. As Mantosis puts in his analysis on class in America, the continuation of the poverty cycle explicitly roots from the large gap between economic classes and the low rate of unionization. This is not to say that The culture of poverty necessarily determines the continuation of the poverty cycle for the children of Mott Haven, but rather the lack of educational resources and the exposure to drug and illness has a greater impact on the cycle. Kozol's study of Mott Haven highlights Mantosas' idea that the government is not the great equalizer of poverty. As the residents of Mott Haven continuously struggle with welfare issues, the government continues to resettle more and more of New York's poor into the neighborhoods surrounding St. Anne's Avenue, proving the fact that the poor are often left to themselves. The final piece of my collage focuses on the religious aspect of Kozol's story. In the upper left-hand corner, white wings adorned with a golden halo watch over New York City, offering the protection and comfort of the people of New York find in religion. It is clear that in many instances, the children of St. Anne's Avenue are lacking strong father figures. Single-parent households are common, and in many instances, household guardians are in some way ill or suffering from substance abuse. Therefore, these kids look to God as a father and a gentle protector. I placed a man in the bottom right-hand corner of the collage, following the description of one 4-year-old explaining to Kozol how God has pink whiskers, red hair, and 2 feet. These children find comfort and grace in the consistency of religion and turn to God as the father figure they crave. When asked what was beautiful, virtually all of these children responded with heaven or something relating to their religious beliefs. These children have no vacation homes or much experience outside the confines of Mott Haven, so they find solace in knowing that heaven will be their vacation home and escape from the reality they endure each day, filled with innocence, peace, and the man they find comfort in, God. Overall, my collage is consumed with contradistinction. It is cluttered and busy, but similarly colorful and detailed, imitating the city of New York. It goes to represent the severe harshness that thrives within the confines of Mott Haven, but similarly the beauty. Kozol's piece explores courage, despondency, love and violence, depression, and transcendency. Through my collage, I attempted to capture these aspects of the story and to represent the intensity and impact of poverty in our society.